It's Vegan Freak Radio number 92 on a lovely Tuesday evening, May 27th, 2008.
Coming to you from high atop their elite fortress of moral superiority, here are your protein-deficient hosts, Bob and Jenna.
We've got a great show for you today! As you know, I own thousands of human beings. And here is the centerpiece of my human collection, Dr. Phil!
Thank you, Oprah, for creating the Dr. Phil Show. For without it, I would truly be somewhere in Texas, sitting in a trailer, drinking excessively, and touching my private parts while watching Mexican soap operas.
Okay, so welcome to another edition of Vegan Freak Radio. This is Vegan Freak Radio number 92.
Hello.
That was a clip from Mad TV. That's actually not Oprah and Dr. Phil, in case you didn't know. And if you're wondering why we're playing Oprah, you probably have not been on the web, or...
You have been living in a cave.
You've been living in a cave. Hopefully a vegan cave.
If you were in a cave and all you had to eat was some fried chicken, would you eat it?
if you were in a cave and all you had to eat was bat guano, would you eat it? Okay, so anyway, in case you've been living in a cave, the big news around the vegan webosphere, blogosphere, whatever ridiculous self-important sphere is out there, is that Oprah has decided to go vegan for 21 days.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just have a quick question for you. Where else do people get that wonderful advice to try going vegan for 21 days? I'm kidding. In our book. But, no, seriously. So Oprah has decided to go vegan for 21 days. And, wow, I mean, if you read around the vegan web, it's like the second coming of Jesus, Oprah, Christ. I mean, it is, it's insane, right?
Yeah, and it's because, Oprah is insanely powerful. Like, what she does, people listen to and do.
Yeah, but do they think about it, actually?
No. See,
Okay.
that's my biggest problem with this whole thing. And of course, I'm sure we're going to get 20,000 emails saying, oh, you shouldn't take on Oprah, oh, she's doing a good thing, blah, 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 blah. And of course, it's not all black and white, it's not all good, it's not all bad.
Sure.
And we'll talk about that as we go along here, but...
Well, somebody has to be cynical about this.
Of course, and if it's not us, then who would be?
That's right. Who else in the vegan, whatever you want to call it, all these people out there talking about all this stuff, well, it's going to be cynical about it and apply a very critical eye
Exactly.
towards this. Now, we're cynical enough to talk about this.
Yeah, we're cynical and bitter and all that kind
I'm
of stuff.
actually not too bitter, but I'm cynical. Okay, so depending on where you read, Oprah is going vegan for 21 days, and this is the thing, right? Oprah's going vegan, and there are a couple different reasons that have been thrown out there. What are some of those reasons?
Cleanse.
She's going vegan for... I should have put a toilet flushing noise in the soundboard. Now I think of it.
About it.
Think about go in your bathroom and flush a toilet, preferably with some brown or yellow in it, so you don't waste all the water. So we don't get all the you're wasting water. You're encouraging people to go waste water. You're not being green. Your carbon footprint's too big. Whatever. Fuck off. No. Okay. So she's going vegan on a cleanse. Mm-hmm. A cleanse. Now, what does the cleanse include? The cleanse, well, I should just read you this. This is from Celebrity News from usmagazine.com.
Quality journalism right there.
Not something I'm used to reading, to be honest with you, but here's what Oprah Winfrey is hoping to shed some serious pounds. The daytime diva, 54, has announced she is going vegan for a 21-day detox, and she insists on her blog that it isn't so bad. Wow, wow, wow. I never imagined meatless meals could be so satisfying. She writes, I'd been focused on what I had to give up. Sugar, gluten, alcohol, meat, chicken, fish, eggs, cheese. What's left, I thought. Apparently a lot. I can honestly say every meal was a surprise and a delight, beginning with breakfast, strawberry rhubarb wheat-free crepes. Inspired by Kathy Freston's book, Quantum Wellness, Winfrey says, this 21-day cleanse gives me the chance to think about eating differently and see what my attachments are to certain kinds of foods and what I'm willing to do to change. Her new menu, created by Freston's own Tal Ronan, features food like tofu scramble, roasted tomato, grilled onion and sweet garlic aioli quesadillas with jicama slaw. That sounds pretty good. She plans to blog her entire dieting process. Don't know if I'm going to feel better or worse, Winfrey writes, but I'm willing to see if my body at least feels differently. For more on the best diets of summer, interviews with this year's hottest bodies, including Kelly Ripa and Fergie, pick up the new issue of Us Weekly Understands Now. Tell us, could you go vegan for 21 days? Followed by 400 pages of really, really, really stupid comments. So, okay, here are the things I think are interesting about this, right? Oprah is going vegan for 21 days. First, it's being billed as a cleanse. It's a cleanse.
And it's a diet.
And it's a diet, right? That someone goes on to lose weight. So I think there are a lot of issues with that. Number one. Number two, look at the things she's giving up. Sugar? Okay, well, let's talk about the things that are obvious at a vegan diet to give up, right? Meat, chicken, fish, eggs, cheese. This is clear.
Right.
But sugar? Vegans don't have to give up sugar. Some kinds of sugar, right? I know, before I get all the fucking emails, yes, some kinds of sugar are processed with bone char. But one need not give up all sugar.
Right.
Obviously. Gluten. You don't have to give up gluten to be a vegan. Alcohol.
You definitely do not have to give up alcohol.
I mean,
there are non-vegan alcohols.
are we all running, I mean, like, you know, from the young ones?
Vegetable rice and peas.
Are we all like running around, yeast, rice, and peas? You know, it's like, I don't care about, you know, I don't feel like, anyway, we don't have to give up those things, right?
Right.
So.
It's not about the diet. It's not about losing weight. It's not about cleansing yourself.
I mean, it can be.
It can be.
It's a healthful diet if you do it right.
Right.
And the way she's doing it, I think is
it's
fine.
It's extremely healthy. And it reminds me of the diet. I know we've talked about like the shows like You Are What You Eat from Britain.
Sure.
And that's actually the diet that she puts people on.
Pretty much, yeah.
To lose weight and everything. And it does make you feel incredible.
It does. It makes you feel a lot better.
Exactly. But you don't, you know, being vegan and doing those things aren't necessarily related.
So I think it's good that she's talking about veganism. And this is a good thing, too, because everyone's mom will know what vegan means now.
Exactly.
And, you know, anyone who watches Oprah will now know what vegan means, more or less. But are they going to know what it means ethically? Are they going to know what it means that it's a detox and that you don't drink alcohol and that it's something you do for 21 days to lose a little bit of weight?
Right. So now is every vegan going to get the silly questions like, oh, so do you drink? Oh, do you eat bread? Oh, do you eat sugar?
Sure. So I think it makes it sound more restrictive than it normally is. I mean, I'm very skeptical of anything that's driven by celebrities anyway,
Of
right?
course.
So
Of course.
don't get me wrong. I think it could be a bad thing, a good thing, but I also think it has its downsides about the way that she's doing it.
Definitely. And I think, I mean, what's interesting about the woman whose book she's doing this because of, I mean, she at least mentions the compassion issue.
She does. She does.
So,
do you want to read this?
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead. Oh, I mean, or you?
Go ahead.
Well, anyway, on Oprah's blog, let's see, where are we? There's one wellness practice that Kathy says should be observed above all others. The mother of all pillars is conscious eating, she says. It doesn't only make a difference to our own personal health and well-being, but conscious eating means you stay aware of where your food comes from, how the animals are treated, and how the environment is affected by the foods that you eat. You take in the energy of whatever went into creating that food.
Happy meat.
Kathy is a vegan, which means she doesn't eat meat, eggs, or dairy. Nobody was harmed. That's conscious eating, she says. If I want to be someone with spiritual integrity, I have to think about the principles that I want to adhere to. Compassion, kindness, mercy, and the alleviating of suffering when I see it. I thought, if I want to further myself on my spiritual path as well as my health path, I need to have more integrity. I need to be conscious about it. I think that's interesting, right? Because it opens a door to the compassion issue.
It does.
But that doesn't open the door to the compassion issue as wide as I would like to see it open.
Exactly. I mean, the woman who authored that book focuses on that part, but I don't see Oprah focusing on that at all.
Me either.
At least from what I've heard.
Well, she mentions
She
has something in there where she mentions it once or twice, but the way that she phrases it, it's like, you can be conscious of what you're consuming.
Right.
You can be, and she doesn't say not to eat it at all, right?
She
She
just
doesn't.
says know where it comes from.
Right.
Happy meat.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and I think that that's what a lot of what she's doing could lead into in that regard. Right? Not
Exactly.
actual total
Yeah.
abolition of the institution of animal exploitation.
Right.
So, am I glad that Oprah is going vegan? Sure.
Sure.
I think it's a good thing. I think it'll get the idea out there. But I find myself a little bothered by some of the things around it, like this whole detox and cleanse and all this like spirituality
Exactly.
bullshit.
And what I really hope it does, I think it'll do a couple things. I think, like you said, it'll at least put vegan out there for more people. They'll know what it is, and they'll at least have heard it before. Oprah did it. That will make it seem not so weird.
That's right.
But Oprah's, of course, not going to go the whole way because it is too weird. She's
Well,
not
no.
going to become a vegan
You don't think?
permanently. No.
Really? You think she'll just go
No,
back after 21
I think
days?
she'll go back after 21 days. I really do.
She has.
I really do.
Well, she has had a history of. I don't really know. I mean, a ton about her. But if I think back about all the, I used to watch Oprah in high school. I used to come home from school and watch Oprah. Right? I did, and if I think back about Oprah over the years, she has had these issues with her weight,
Right.
back and forth, and with various kinds of fad diets that she's tried. And it's no secret that she's into the secret, which is basically like, think positive
Right.
thoughts and positive things will come to you. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to tell that to somebody who's like fucking living in the shittiest neighborhood in some urban area in like New York where.
Yeah, or someone who's stuck in Burma,
Yeah,
not getting the help that they need.
No, you see, they just didn't think enough positive thoughts.
Right,
That's the
right,
problem.
right.
Their spiritual energy is fucked.
Right.
But go ahead.
So anyway, so I don't think she'll stay vegan. I think it'll be seen as a fad.
Yeah.
And I think that people might follow what she does, but not think about it. They'll do it just because Oprah's doing it, and it sounds like a good idea. Oh, I can cleanse myself. Oh, I can lose a few pounds. And then
Could
they'll
be.
go back to doing what they do. There might be a few people who read the book
Mm-hmm.
that this is all based on and really think about it, and it might speak to some people who
I think
never
that's
would
great.
have spoken to before, and I think that would be great. I hope that's the case, and I hope people think about it, but I don't want people going See, what we see a lot is people going vegan for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, man.
They're doing it just to sort of follow along, and, Oprah has plenty of lemmings who just go along with whatever she says just because she's Oprah, which is a shame.
She owns a lot of people.
She does.
she said.
She's like that Mad TV thing makes fun of. But I really do hope that it gets people to think about it, because if
Sure.
you're doing it for your own reasons, because it really speaks to you and you think it's the right thing to do, then I think you'll stay vegan. If you're doing it for the wrong reasons, this is how a lot of ex-vegans come about.
Well, I want to be clear so we don't get a lot of complaints about this, but if Oprah's little guru, she has all these little gurus, right?
right.
If her guru, Kathy, or whatever the hell her name is, gets people to think about the kinds of spiritual impacts of consuming animals, I think that's a good thing
I think- yeah,
overall.
sure.
Right?
Definitely.
I'm not gonna
Right.
bitch and moan. I think that's great. Do I think though? I mean, like, if you go out and read around the web, right? A lot of other vegans seem to think that this is like some kind of miracle, that the sky has opened up and suddenly the clouds have
I know.
parted and everybody's going to go vegan tomorrow. And I
No,
just don't
I don't
think
see
it's
it.
the case. And I also think that there's this fascination in our movement with like these shortcuts. Like, oh, if we could just get Oprah to go vegan, everything
Right.
will be fine. And I'm like, no. I don't think so.
No.
I think this takes our eye off the ball a little bit.
Right.
Because really, we can't have a celebrity like Oprah doing the work that I think we, on a daily basis, need to be doing to make this like a more conceivable choice for everyday people, right? I'm not saying it's bad that she's doing it. I just think that we can't like look at this and go, wow, this is a be all and end all.
Right. Exactly. And then there's the other part of it is her whole diet. And this is an excerpt that we took from Oprah's blog. It's week 1, Tuesday. This morning started with an eggless quiche. I thought I wouldn't be able to handle it, but it was actually okay. I'm not rushing to the breakfast table, but the caramelized onions made it almost tasty.
Almost tasty.
Almost tasty. So she's already, she's approaching this with the mindset I think a lot of people would approach it, like vegan food is nasty.
Like the way I would approach one of those lemon cleanse diets where all you have to do is
Right.
eat lemons and fucking chili peppers and oil for 3
Exactly.
weeks or whatever.
Exactly. Lunch was delicious lentil soup and some lovely lettuce leaves and shredded cucumber. I mean, that's lettuce leaves and cucumber. That's not a salad. All right, dinner, good. Asparagus, quote-unquote, cream soup, portobello mushrooms, white beans and spinach, and sweet potato chips. A feast. I had 3 meals and 2 snacks today. They were so satisfying that so far I'm doing great. My assistant, who's giving up caffeine for the first time, is a bit cranky. That's expected, right? I would be if I were giving up caffeine.
Yeah, man.
That's one thing I'm not giving up. I don't care. Anyway, I stopped by my favorite restaurant to meet a business associate, but I was so full and satisfied after Tal's meal, I only ordered sparkling water. That's a first. The smell of garlically simmering fillets and steak Diane were wafting all around me, and I had absolutely no problem resisting.
Well, good for her.
That's good. I came home and my housekeeper, who sometimes cooks, had made a beautiful turkey meatloaf. I forgot to tell her about my vegan baptism, so my doorman's now enjoying turkey meatloaf for dinner. So I worry about, people see all the things that she's eating, and she's really eating kind of gourmet stuff, a lot of it.
Well, that's great, though.
This is great. Because the good thing about this is, yes, it shows people that she's not just eating, twigs and apples.
Sure.
But it's also like, not everybody is help.
Exactly. Like, I don't have a maid and a doorman.
Exactly. So not everybody has someone cooking all their meals for them, and they might find it a little more frustrating.
And actually,
at first,
here's a little clip that I found on YouTube from Oprah's show of like her and her staff going and eating this stuff, and I'd play it for you. It's only a minute long, so hang in there and listen.
We should sign up for ourselves every day.
For lunch? Okay, for lunch.
Wow.
This
This is too exciting.
Wow, this is beautiful.
Oh.
Oh, no, not me.
Oh, you have to be on camera. You're the chef.
So much.
Look at the portions. A little cup of soup.
Yeah, normally I'm getting a bowl this big.
Yeah, really with millet, which is a whole grain. It's a complete protein. Mm-hmm. And the crackers are flax crackers, again, because we're not doing wheat. And the chutney in the middle I made with balsamic vinegar and figs.
And this is hummus?
That's hummus, yep.
And what's the soup?
The soup is white bean.
White
That's
bean.
white bean.
Glass
White
from this
beans.
one.
We should say grace, friends. We are thankful for our food. We're thankful for the hands that prepared it and served it. We thank you for this opportunity to reach a level of consciousness that allows us to be more aware, not only of what we take into our bodies, but what we're putting out into the world. Thank you, all that is God. Amen. Thank you. Amen. We thank the hummus for coming to our table. And this is great. We love this. We have a little white bean soup, pureed white bean, so it seems like it's cream, but it's not. Isn't that delicious? And, I never thought a lunch of hummus would make me this happy. We thank the hummus for coming to our table.
Vegans the world round know how happy hummus makes us.
Indeed. But, well, anyway, there's just...
I know you can't suppress the cynical Bob.
I can't.
I can't either.
I'm trying. I mean, really hard.
I know it's good because yes, at least she's like they seem to be enjoying it. But what happens in when they go back? Because they're going to.
I think so.
There's
a part of me that says, "Cool, people are watching her eat
vegan food,
vegan food,
and it's good,
vegan soup, and they're liking it."
Yeah.
But another part of me is like, I don't know. I'm kind of. I mean, everybody has their different paths in the world. Everybody finds their own forms of spirituality and enlightenment, all that crap, right? But the whole idea that, you have to be this deeply spiritual person to become a vegan is so fucking full of shit.
It is.
I could not be any less spiritual. And my veganism has nothing to do with spirituality. Nope. It has to do with rationality. Mm-hmm. And so and I don't mean to diss anyone out there who is spiritual, right? If you have your spiritual reasons, great. You're welcome to believe in who you'd like to believe in. It's not my business. But I think there are very clear rational reasons for going vegan. Mm-hmm. It's an argument that can be very clearly and rationally constructed. And what I see happening here is things like...
We thank the hummus for coming to our table.
You thank the hummus for coming to your table? It's like, hi, Oprah, I'm the hummus. I'm here to feed you now. It's like, what the fuck?
The point is that the hummus never had legs that you could walk on. That's why you're eating it.
So I don't know. I'm sure we'll get a lot of flames.
I'm sure.
Who cares? Who gives a shit anymore? So I'm really drawn on it. There's a cynical part of me that's like, yeah, Oprah's going to go vegan for 21 days, and Oprah has also been into The Secret, and Oprah has also been into other kinds of diets in the past. And when it fades and goes away, it's going to be the same old shit. And I think also that, there's still this kind of confusion, really deep confusion out there about what veganism is and what it means and why anyone would be an ethical vegan. And in that Us magazine article, there's one of the comments is, do you vegans drink alcohol? There's like this back and forth about veganism, right? Do you vegans drink alcohol? Well, I don't, and I believe it is poison and morally, all caps, morally wrong, just the same way you feel about meat eaters. But I'm not going to attack you for drinking. Keep your own side of the street clean. Okay? Thanks. Now, here we go again, right? Do vegans drink alcohol? Some do.
Some do and some don't.
Right. But this person believes that it is poison and it is morally wrong. Mm-hmm. But from the rational perspective of veganism, this is like a deep misunderstanding of what veganism is about.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, I guess you could argue, if you want to take the real argument and say, yes, alcohol does harm, like any other drug, right?
Sure.
You can make the argument that one consuming that drug can harm others through the consumption of that drug. Mm-hmm. But responsible use of alcohol doesn't harm anyone.
Not at all.
Responsible meat eating harms people.
Yes.
Responsible meat eating is, you know what it is. You know what it's coming.
Happy meat.
That's what it is. And I'm glad that the voice of Vegan Freak Radio is saying it like that.
Happy meat.
Because that's how insane I'm starting to feel about the happy meat. No, what I'm getting at, though, do you understand what I'm getting at?
I do. Is that the moral wrong of alcohol is completely different than the moral wrong of eating meat.
Absolutely.
Because what is alcohol? It's grains. You know, nothing was harmed to make the alcohol.
Right.
Beings were harmed to make your meat.
That's right. So this is a deep misunderstanding about what veganism is about in and of itself. So, you know, I just think that people are not getting the whole vegan thing and why she would do it beyond the cleanse issue.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, the spirituality thing is out there. I think that's good, but, you know.
I don't think she's going to focus on that, though. I read an interesting article in the New York Times the other day about Oprah, and it didn't have anything to do with this. But it was about basically her ratings are going down.
Are they really?
A little. Not much. And, well, her people say it's because, you know, people aren't watching as much television as they used to, and blah, 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 and all TV ratings are going down. But some other people say it's because she pissed people off when she went for Obama. Uh-huh. She pissed off all the Hillary supporters, all the women. And she's, like, getting too political. And she's also starting to piss a few Christians off with her spirituality.
Oh, so good point.
If she keeps going on this spirituality stuff, she might piss off some more Christians.
That's actually a really good point, because this is like, you know, this stuff is just
Tampering in dark-sided stuff.
She's tampering in dark-sided stuff. I mean, all this spirituality crap. That's a good point. I mean, another funny thing though is that you were talking about the conservatives on this Us Magazine article. That one of the comments says, you know, as another anonymous. You know what I always find ironic? Vegans are usually liberals, right? Right? All caps. Liberals are usually for gay marriage and pro-choice! Exclamation point. So, vegans equal pro-choice and pro-gay marriage, but they attack people for choosing to eat meat? Why can you choose to, have an abortion, marry the same sex, but you can't have the right to choose, actually it's chose, what you eat? They wrote chose. What you eat. Dumbasses.
Yeah, we're the dumbasses. Okay.
I know this stuff makes you so angry.
It does. I can't stand it. I hate when that websites have like articles and then they have comments.
Yeah, you know.
Oh my god.
I actually think that the internet has done more to degrade intelligent discourse than pretty much any other technology ever invented, and that includes us, you know, ranting about our stupid shit every week on the radio. But I think people really don't. It's just not getting it. So anyway, about Oprah, what do you have anything else you'd like to add about Oprah?
I think that's about it. I think we covered everything I wanted to say about it.
I think so too, and I you know, we're kind of fence sitting in a sense, but I do really feel like it's a mixed bag.
I don't think it's all good, and I don't think it's all bad. It's you know, like we said, it's good and bad.
I just think a lot of people need to not look at this thing as a second coming of Jesus, Oprah, Christ, or whoever, you know, whoever Oprah might be. I don't think it's going to radically change things in the long run. I really don't.
I don't either.
And I also am very skeptical of these, you know, celebrity-driven solutions to issues.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's good that she's doing it, but, you know, on the flip side, it's like I don't think she's going to go into enough depth to really make a huge dent.
No, not at all.
So, what else?
Whew, I think that's the only real issue we're going to talk about. We just have emails and voicemails.
Do you want to do an email?
Sure.
You've got mail.
Okay, let's see here. Cialis? No, don't need that. Bigger bust size? No. Free iPod. Oh, it might do that. Oh, are you pleasing your woman? Well, you better ask her. Oh, well, what's this? Vegan Freak email? Vegan Freak email. Yes.
Okay, before we get into that, we got some interesting sound clips from people this week. Did we not?
If you did.
Where did I put this? Oh, shit.
Not
No, it's not that one.
No.
No. Oh, no.
Where'd you put it? You were playing it earlier.
I know, I can't find it. Here. Ouch. We got the opera Not Vegan.
From Emily.
Thank you. If you have your headphones on, man, you probably blew your head out. And then we got a couple other funny clips like...
Oh, you must be some kind of crazy person.
And
you dumbass.
There were a couple more in there, too. They're around. Those are from...
Nadine in
Sydney. So we want to thank them for sending in those clips. And let's get into the email.
Okay, we have one email that we printed out. We got a lot of other good emails, and we may get to them eventually. This one's from Michael. Or Mike, sorry. Hello to you both. I love listening to your podcast. It gets me through my desk job's paperwork sessions with a laugh and something to think about. I've been vegan now since February of this year, so I'm still quite new in the how to deal with non-vegans department. Ah, yes. This can be a help as well as a hindrance. At least it keeps me on my toes. I've heard people ask about what to do when their heartless carnivorous friends dangle meat in front of them and ask if they want any. My suggested response to this situation would be to tell your friends, after refusing their offering a sufficient amount of times, okay, I'll try it. Once you've taken the offending material from them, simply fling it as far away from the table as possible.
I like that idea.
You may also try dumping it into their lap so as to give it a more personal response and not cause an unrelated party to have to clean up the wall you've just sullied with meat. That's great. Finally, after disposing of their offer with such grand gesture, you are now free to look around the table and announce, that was wonderful. Does anyone else want to offer me something to eat? My theory is that after a group of your friends witness this reaction, they will think twice before offering it to you again. It's childish, but don't do it only once.
I like that.
Yeah. Regarding another topic that a caller recently brought up, the idea if you are not paying for something and simply taking it for free so as not to cause more demand for it is erroneous. It's the same reason why I do not take samples from Starbucks or free packs of cigarettes from my friends from Camel or free t-shirts from insert mega corporation names here. You may not be buying it and lining their pockets with more money, and you may think that you've gotten one over on them by getting it for free, but here's where you've missed the point. You're creating more demand for future production of the item simply by lessening their supply from which to give it away. When they sell cigarettes at $5 a pack and you buy a pack, you've given them $5 and you've created demand for them to make more. If you take a free sample from them, you've not given them money, but now when Joe Camel Nicotine Street Team returns to home base, the higher-ups will say, well done, we've unloaded 5,000 packs, so there must be a market for this stuff. We'll make more. It's the same idea for secondhand leather or taking food leftovers from a cafeteria where the meat-eating students provide you with leftovers resulting from the burger they couldn't finish. You may not have paid for it or killed the animal, but if you join in the consumption, even for free, then you're encouraging more production by showing there is a market waiting for their goods. Thanks for your time, and thanks for the show, Mike.
Cool, I like that.
Awesome, thank you.
Anything you want to add to that?
No.
I like the strategy of throwing meat back at them. I think it's great.
I never would have thought of that.
It's childish, but I like it.
But their behavior is childish to start with.
It is indeed.
He's like, here, eat this. You want to eat this?
Yeah, bacon. Oh, I love bacon. I hate when people don't do that to me anymore, but they used to. Mm-hmm. And I used to hate that very much. So are we done with the emails?
Yes.
For now.
Yes.
Time once again for some vegan freak voicemail. Maybe we'll hear from a hot chick
or a choice male.
Callers make us happy and help us keep our sanity, even if all they wanna do is fucking complain about the shitload of profanity.
Hey, vegan freaks. This is Luke from Littletown, Connecticut. First-time caller, short-time listener. I've been a vegetarian for about 6 months, and after considering it for a long time and listening to your show, I recently made the decision to try my hand at veganism. But there are a couple things I wanted to talk about. One was a quick rant about this student teacher at our school. Now, he's really a senior at our high school, but he apparently, for this project that seniors all do, he is he's teaching a class and consequently grading my projects. And at any rate, he's really anti-vegetarian. He keeps saying things like, "Oh, I love to go up to vegetarians and order the meat lover special and like stuff my face with it, you know. Just order a huge hunking sirloin steak." And then he'll say things like, "You see, vegetarians are all weak because there's this enzyme that's in meat and you can't find it anywhere else. And if you don't eat it, then you'll get really weak and you'll get really pale and everything." And later today, he found out that I'm going vegan. So he says, "Dude, we really need to go out to Ruby Tuesdays and I'll order like a nice juicy steak and everything." And then he starts the stupid questions like, "If you were locked in a room and there was a steak, would you eat it?" That just pisses me off when people like that. Or it's like I didn't go out of my way to say, "You know what? You're a murderer. You're murdering the animal." But maybe I should have. At any rate, he says, "So I figure the animal's already dead, so why not eat it?" And then I realized he's not. It's not about that. He's not trying to explain why he eats meat to me. He's trying to explain to himself why he eats meat. He's trying to make sure that it's okay for him to eat it because he's not secure about it. At any rate, just wanted to finish that up saying I think he's just not secure about eating meat and he needs to find other ways of dealing with it. And then my question was just that when last time I went over to Easter, someone asked me, or when they saw me eating, and I had reached for the fruit, and they asked me, "Oh, you eat fruit so you eat fruit? That's how you stay so thin." And I didn't quite know what to say, and I said, "Well, I think partially it's because I'm a vegetarian." So, I don't know. My question to you is, how far is it really okay to introduce something about what you're eating, like vegetarianism and veganism, to someone who, frankly, may not want to hear it? I mean, even if it's, I don't know, do you consider it the right thing to do? If you can address either of these issues, thanks, and bye. Wow.
Jenna?
Well, as for the first part, when you're talking about that guy, you're totally right. I think, in fact, like right as you were saying, he's trying to justify it to himself. I said to myself, he's trying to justify it to himself.
Absolutely. I think that's clear.
It's so clear. And that's what vegans do. I mean, you didn't even say anything to him, and he brought it up all the time, didn't he? It's because you stand in for the meat. You make them feel guilty just by being you. You don't even have to say anything to people. And you remind them that, oh, yeah, there might be something wrong with eating meat.
There you go.
And so people react in different ways. And if someone's got that latent guilt riding underneath, in their consciousness, that's one way they react. It's very typical.
It is pretty typical. It is. And I actually, I bet that he actually really does think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep. Those are the little lies people tell themselves.
Exactly. I have to eat it to be manly. I have to eat it to be healthy.
Yep.
I have to do this. It's what humans do. We eat meat. And it makes it sound like like he's a scavenger. It's already dead. I'm going to eat it. No,
meat.
It was killed for you.
Yeah, it was. And by eating it, it actually gets back to the email we just had. It creates more demand for the thing that was already for the product in the first place.
Exactly.
As for the thing about how far to go, it's a personal issue for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
In general, though, I have found that for me, it works pretty well to not be like extremely vegangelical with people at first. People, I do not shy away from telling people I am vegan. I do not shy away from telling them why I am vegan. But I will tell someone, if someone says to me, "Well, I see you're not eating the prime rib or whatever." So yeah, I'm a vegan. So if they want to take it further than that, I'll go there. I don't think doing it over food is always the best place to do it, though, because then there's always this judgment and all that. So I would say you got to play it by ear. You got to play it by the person. But I think it is always worth saying that you're a vegan, and I think it's always worth saying, that, if people ask you why, saying why.
Exactly. I mean, if people are asking you questions out of genuine curiosity, then answer them. If just like Bob says, I don't necessarily bring it up if it's not brought up. And then if I judge the situation as to whether or not I want to continue talking about it and how much I want to talk about it. And generally with family, I don't bother.
I will sometimes joke with my parents. But
Yeah, well, sometimes they ask us questions and we'll answer them.
Sure.
But I don't, necessarily bring it up. But, with your friends or if you're out or whatever, judge the situation, see how you think they might react, so.
Yeah, I think you got to play it by situation. So, and congratulations on going vegan. Let's keep you vegan.
Yes.
And keep going with it. So, moving on, we have another voicemail here.
Hey, Bob and Jenna. My name is Max. I want to talk to you about something that really pisses me off. It's when people claim to love animals but still eat and enjoy animal products. A little while ago, I convinced a friend of mine to go vegetarian for a day. We got into this big fight because she too claims to love animals and all that. But one time, she sent me an email saying something like, "I can't be vegetarian because meat is my BFF, blah, blah, blah."
Meat is my BFF.
She also said that she supposedly only eats organic meat from farmers markets, which she's proved wrong herself. This really pisses me off because, just like what you were saying in episode number 90, she thinks that the fact that it's more organic and quote-unquote more humane justifies the loss of sentient life that went into getting that meat. If you ask me, I see that it's entirely hypocritical. Am I right?
You're right.
Anyway, I have a few other questions I would like answered. What is it that you feed your dogs? Is it vegan dog food or regular dog food? I know that there are vegan dog options for dogs, but is it actually possible to raise a dog on a vegan or vegetarian diet?
Hell yeah.
The last question I've been dying to ask you is, did you guys finally beat those goddamn muggles at Podcast Alley? Yes, of course, I did go and vote for you guys. Well, anyway, I love the podcast and keep up the great work. Bye.
Well, thank you.
I think, did we beat them for like a couple hours at one point?
At one point, yeah.
And then we lost to them again.
Yeah, well, we were slow doing shows and all that, but now that we're weekly, there is no excuse for us not to beat the fucking MuggleCast, all right?
Especially June's coming up next week.
Yeah, June is coming up. We can use those votes in the beginning of June.
Uh-huh.
So you get over to Podcast Alley and vote for us now and in the beginning of June.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
That said, I'll let you answer the question about the vegan dog food. Was there? Also the thing about the happy meat, right? What else?
Oh yeah. Vegan dog food. We make food for the dogs and add a supplement to it. So just like humans, you have to make sure that they're getting all the correct nutrients. But you can feed them a vegan diet.
Yeah.
And there are vegan dog foods on the market. Our dogs didn't react well to them.
No.
They made moldy gassy.
Extremely gassy. If you listen to some of the earlier shows, we're like, oh God, no more! Like we're dying from mole gassing us out. But since you make this stuff for them, they don't.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't really stink.
No, it's all good, and they will poop more.
They do poop more. There's no question.
So if you take them out frequently, it's not a problem.
We're talking rather than once a day, twice a day. Yeah.
Just like regular human vegans.
But it's good for them, and we've had their blood tested, and they're very healthy, and they've got more energy than they need to have, and they go running with us. We run a couple miles a day, so. They're fine. Just like, dogs are great. We don't want to get into the cat issue, though. No. What else were we talking about? Oh, happy meat. Yes. The whole idea that one can love animals, quote unquote, love animals, and still consume them always boggles my mind. But it really shows the depth, just how deep our ideological kind of bullshit is, The ways in which we're willing to lie to ourselves about how we treat animals and to accept those lies as truth it's very powerful.
It is.
So people can think that they love animals. I mean, there are plenty of quote-unquote animal lovers out there that still eat them. And I think that's one of the big problems. This is what Gary Francione calls our moral schizophrenia about animals in his book, Introduction to Animal Rights. So some people you can get through to with that, others you can't. And, a lot of people, one other thing is that I was doing some research on psychopaths not long ago, and a lot of psychopaths cover up their craziness by professing a love for animals. So anyway, moving on.
Hi, I'm Vanessa from Highland, New York, recent vegan. I was vegetarian for 20 years, and my husband was a McDonald's lover for all his life. And after reading some books and seeing the movie Earthlings, he went cold turkey and went vegan, and I'm backing him up with that, which is awesome. I wanted to call you guys because I think we as a group abstaining from animal products is awesome and wonderful. But on the other hand, I kind of feel like, even though we're not part of the problem anymore, we're not necessarily part of the solution either. 1 billion animals are horribly tortured and slaughtered in this country every year, and it's not acceptable. We as a group are the ones who give a shit. We're the ones who care. We're the ones who want to change, and I feel like we're the ones that need to perpetuate that change. The problem is that, we're not all teachers or writers or rock stars out in the public, and we don't have a forum to create change or to motivate people. The animals can't revolt, unfortunately. It's got to come from us, the people, like I said, that give a shit about them. My question is, what do we do? It doesn't have to be anything crazy like ALF, but there's got to be something that we, as a group, small-time vegans here in upstate New York or across the country and the world can do to change people's minds and get them to know the truth. Wearing T-shirts and talking to friends is great and well and good, but we're preaching to the choir. We need to reach people like my husband that just didn't know, but he does give a shit. How can we do that? And I'm so open to ideas, and I'm so open to do them. If anyone has any, what do we do? Thanks. Bye.
Well, I think, no, we're not all teachers or rock stars or anything, but you don't have to be. And I think you really need to keep that in mind. You just need to use your strengths. And maybe your strength is, that was a very articulate voicemail.
It was
your
great.
strength is probably talking to people. And so talk to people.
From listening to that voicemail, it sounds to me like you could talk, that the caller could really talk to people in a way that's genuine and from the heart.
Yeah.
And I think that we need people to do that.
Yeah, and you don't have to have a huge forum to do that. You don't have to have an organized group to do that. You don't have to have a website or anything. You just need to go out into the world and talk to people.
Well, I really like this voicemail because it kind of touches on a point that I make in the book that I published last year. I wrote last year, and I think it's a really key point is that the movement needs to be us, not like these other people out there doing whatever. And that we aren't all rock stars, we aren't all like writers, we aren't all teachers, but we all have some kind of talent that we can harness and bring to the table. And I think the way to do that, what I wrote about in the book was basically, I think one of the ways to do that is to find a group of like-minded people and to start educating people. So in your local community, there have to be 2 or 3 other people who have a similar view. And if there aren't, there's you and your husband. Set up a screening somewhere, in your local library. Set up a screening and show this. Have an information session. Put pamphlets out. There are a million different things you can do. Have a potluck. I don't know exactly what your talents are, right? But there are a lot of different ways to get creative about this and to get people to think about these issues. And they aren't all beating people over the head, or they aren't all proselytizing. There are a lot of different paths to get people this kind of consciousness. And I think that those different paths have to be realized through the different kinds of strengths that we all have.
Exactly.
So the kind of strength that I would use to get people to realize this is going to be different than the kind of strength that Vanessa, right? The Vanessa would have to get someone to realize this. So I think, I know this is kind of an amorphous answer, but the answer is that you got to do what you think is right in your own context, in your own place, because you know that place, you know that community, and you have a good sense of what you could do in that context to really make a difference.
Exactly.
So what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. And, I'm not, like I've said in the past, there are certain things that I'm good at and certain things I'm not good at. And one thing that, I never thought I would be good at was this podcast.
That's true.
And yet here we are on show number 92. And it's our way of doing it, but not everybody needs a podcast. If you want to do one, great. And, if you just go out, and I think just being a good example, because a lot of what, what's lacking out there is people generally do not know what veganism is about.
That's true.
So just by living your great example, getting people to ask you questions, talking about it with people, cooking for people, showing what, people don't know what vegans eat. Show them. People don't know why you're vegan. Tell them.
Yeah.
And it might get more people thinking, suggest books, the arguments. I think that it goes a long way. More than you can realize, yeah.
I think so too. And I've actually found it, through teaching, I've gotten people to think about a lot of these issues, but there are a lot of other ways. And almost every community has some kind of space you can use for these things. Whether it's a library or a community center or something like that, where you can have this kind of, where you can put on a showing of Earthlings. all you need is a room with a VCR and a TV. And
Yep.
even in a lot of the community centers around here, you can find that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to, it depends on what you're good at, but you got to figure out what you're good at and how you can apply that something you're good at to solving this major issue. And one thing in the voicemail, Vanessa, there was 1 billion animals a year. It's 10.
10. Yeah.
So it's 10 times as many.
And only in the U.S.
And only in the U.S. I mean, globally, we're looking at 35 to 45 billion with a B. So I think these are all wonderful ideas, and I'm glad you got your husband to go vegan.
Yeah, that's impressive.
It is.
That is vegan outreach right there.
It is. And whatever worked for him.
Uh-huh.
I mean, is there a way to apply that on a larger scale that would be effective? A lot of people are doing some really interesting stuff, too. I mean, like, there have been these Vegan Freak for a Week things that Lely started working with a while ago. And
now
that
there's
have
one in
been,
Portland.
Yeah, that other people are doing in Portland. And that's a not difficult thing to do, try vegan for a week type stuff. Not terrible. I mean, it's a lot of work to put that together, but it's something that an average person can do. You don't need to be super person to do that.
Not at all.
So, yeah, if you figure out what you're going to do, let us know, though. We'd be happy to help promote it.
Sure.
Cool. So moving on, right?
Hi, Vegan Freaks. It's Nicole H. from the forums. I am calling from Scotland with a bunch of Scottish vegans. And we're sitting around drinking Iron Brew at 1 a.m. and we thought we'd call and say hello. It's not quite drunk dialing.
How come I can understand
it's
you?
Similar.
Um,
We're trying very, very We're having...
It's because she's
We're trying
Australian.
very hard to get drunk dial you, but we thought we'd call. Lely has something to contribute, I believe. She's been, itching to say it all night to you. So I'll pass over to Lely now and you can hear the wisdom of her words.
The 5. Everybody, just do it now. And if Jenna could you say my name like a few times? Because that's really cute. Say my name! Say my name! Because you say it like Lely, and nobody says that here.
Lely. Say it, Jenna.
Okay, so if you could say Lily's name, that would be great.
5 times. Let's hear it.
No, I'm going giggling.
And green beans. I want to hear green beans.
Lely. Lely.
Is that 5?
I don't know.
That's
Lely?
only 4. There you go.
Lely.
There's a couple of people who are vaguely asleep here now, but maybe Chris and Jay would like to at least vaguely say hello in the direction of the phone. So I'll point it at them. Hang on 1 second. Hello. Yay. I think there were points we had to bring up, such as cupcakes.
Cupcakes, how much we love them. And that Mark Love is clearly the best IRC husband in the world.
Mark Love, did you hear that? I hope so.
And the PayPal information will be PM'd shortly.
PayPal information PM shortly. We like
payment for doing that.
We do like to be informative here for that. So payment for goods taken and services rendered. And also payloads. Payloads is the other thing we had to cover.
Okay, a whole bunch of inside jokes from the chat room there. That's just left alone.
Yeah, well, we owed it to them to play that.
We should have played that
we played
years
it a
ago.
long time ago.
Holy
It's kind of
shit.
old, actually.
I remember them telling me about that. Was great. So if you do manage to get together like Vanessa, and you manage to get a bunch of people together, and you get drunk, feel free to call the show.
They were even drunk, and they called the show.
That's true. Nicole did not sound drunk at all. The rest had to have been pretty.
Getting there.
Come on. Really? Yeah. I would think. No?
Right. Well, thank you, Lely.
Yes, indeed.
Apparently I talk funny.
You don't talk. It's not that you talk funny.
Everybody's telling me I talk funny.
No, I don't think it's that you talk funny. I think it's that people like the way you talk.
Okay.
I don't think you talk funny.
Okay.
So, I think people enjoy your diction.
Okay.
Diction. Anyway, okay. Let's move on.
Isn't there one more?
Luke, Max, Morgan. Did I miss Morgan?
No, you missed Morgan.
Hey, Bob and Jenna.
This is
It's
old,
Morgan,
too,
your
so-
lovely
Sorry.
teen vegan from Southern Illinois. And I'm just calling today, April 8th, because it is the 1-year anniversary of my becoming vegan. Yay! So, I'm pretty excited. It's been hard. Well, not really, but I've just had to put up with a lot of shit from people. Sorry, I know, 17. My bad. Anyways. And I still get it daily. The oh, you just need some beef in you, or, oh, you know, you'd be such a better athlete if you drank milk, or all that crap. But, you know, I think that's pretty good. I'm good, on top of my class, you know, I'm a state qualifying athlete, so, hey, suck it. I don't need to eat animals to be strong or to be smart or anything.
You tell them.
That's what I tell them, and, you know, had to deal with my friends not liking it, and my boyfriend not liking it.
Screw 'em.
But whatever. I really don't care.
Big W, that's right.
And to something you were talking about on the second to last podcast about the why do men have nipples thing, there's actually a book I bought my boyfriend it, and the title of it is Why Do Men Have Nipples? And what it is that during, before the stage when you're an embryo or a fetus, I guess, whatever, before you develop into which sex you're going to be, there are certain characteristics of the body that are already developed, like the nipples, so you can turn into a female or a male. It's just one of those things, like we have skin, we have hair, we have nipples. Hey, whatever. All right, well, I sound like a fool, so I'm gonna go now. Stay vegan and freaky. You guys rock. Bye.
Well, thank you, Morgan. I hope you're still listening to the show.
Apologies. We're catching up on some older voicemails.
We are.
You can tell.
We are.
Beginning of April.
We're getting there. We're getting back into the swing of things slowly. We're getting the machine moving, the Vegan Freak Radio machine moving again.
Yeah, but I wanted to play that because her attitude is really great. You know, she's putting up with a lot of shit, but you know what? Whatever. They can suck it.
I agree with her completely.
You know? Like she said, and that is one of the hardest things that a lot of people find is that, you know, dealing with the shit that they get from other people.
Yep.
And it is hard, and in one level, but another level, you're like, you know, if this is the right thing for you to do, then do it for yourself.
Agreed.
Who cares what other people think?
Completely agree. And I think most people, if you do it and you're sincere about it and you don't go back on it, most people eventually just give up giving you shit about it, you know? So congratulations, Morgan. You rock. That's great.
Yeah.
Now are we done?
I think so. Sorry.
Cool. No, what are you apologizing for? I'm the one who screwed up. Hey, Emmy. Em. She's going to bark.
267-295-1944. Write the number down on your refrigerator door. Add the 001 country code if you call us from Vienna. That's how you leave a voicemail for good old Bob and Jenna.
Yes, Emmy's looking out the window like, shit. We better draw this thing. Oh, no, Mole's going to start.
Going to start now. Oh, yeah, there we go. Good time to end the show.
Yes. Oh, my. All right.
Somebody's walking out in front of the house. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. No, anything but that. Okay. Show at veganfreakradio.com, right?
Yeah.
267-295-1944. We'd love to hear from you. Anything else?
I think that's about it.
Cool. We'll let the song go out, but you're going to hear the dogs barking.
They can round out the show.
They need to have their input. See you next week. We'll be back next Tuesday.
Bye.
We thank the hummus for coming to our table.
Tell us, could you go vegan for 21 days? followed by 400 pages of really, really, really stupid comments. So, okay, here are the things I think are interesting about this, right? Mm-hmm. Oprah is going vegan for 21 days. First, it's being billed as a cleanse. Mm-hmm. It's a cleanse.
And it's a diet.
And it's a diet, right? Mm-hmm. That someone goes on to lose weight. Mm-hmm. So I think there are a lot of issues with that. Number one. Number two, look at the things she's giving up. Sugar? Okay, well, let's talk about the things that are obvious at a vegan diet to give up, right? Meat, chicken, fish, eggs, cheese. Mm-hmm. This is clear.
Right.
But sugar? Vegans don't have to give up sugar. Mm-mm. Some kinds of sugar, mm-hmm. right? I know, before I get all the fucking emails, yes, some kinds of sugar are processed with bone char. But one need not give up all sugar.
Right.
Obviously. Gluten. You don't have to give up gluten to be a vegan.
Mm-mm.
Alcohol.
You definitely do not have to give up alcohol.
I mean,
there are non-vegan alcohols.
Are we all running, I mean, like, you know, from the young ones?
Vegetable rights and peas.
Are we all like running around, yeast rights and peas? You know, it's like, I don't care about, you know, I don't feel like, anyway, we don't have to give up those things, right?
Right.
So.
It's not about the diet. It's not about losing weight. It's not about cleansing yourself.
I mean, it can be.
It can be.
It's a healthful diet if you do it right.
Right.
And then the way she's doing it, I think is fine.
It's extremely healthy. And it reminds me of the diet. I know we've talked about like the shows like you.
Insane, right?
Yeah. And it's because, Oprah is insanely powerful. Like what she does, people listen to and do.
Yeah, but do they think about it actually?
No. See,
Okay.
that's my biggest problem with this whole thing. And of course, I'm sure we're going to get 20,000 emails saying, "Oh, you shouldn't take on Oprah. Oh, she's doing a good thing." Blah 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 blah. And of course, it's not all black and white. It's not all good. It's not all bad.
Sure.
And we'll talk about that as we go along here. But
well, somebody has to be cynical about this.
of course, and if it's not us, then who would be?
That's right. Who else in the vegan, whatever you want to call it, all these people out there talking about all this stuff, who else is going to be cynical about it and apply a very critical eye
exactly
towards this? Now, we're cynical enough to talk about this.
Yeah, we're cynical and bitter and all that kind of stuff.
I'm actually not too bitter, but I'm cynical. Okay, so depending on where you read, Oprah is going vegan for 21 days, and this is the thing, right? Oprah's going vegan, and there are a couple different reasons that have been thrown out there. What are some of those reasons?
Cleanse.
She's going vegan for. I should have put a toilet flushing noise in the soundboard. Now I think of it. Well, think about go in your bathroom and flush a toilet, preferably with some brown or yellow in it, so you don't waste all the water. So we don't get all the you're wasting water. You're encouraging people to go waste water. You're not being green. Your carbon footprint's too big. Whatever. Fuck off. No. Okay. So she's
for creating the Dr. Phil show. For without it, I would truly be somewhere in Texas, sitting in a trailer, drinking excessively, and touching my private parts while watching Mexican soap operas.
Okay, so welcome to another edition of Vegan Freak Radio. This is Vegan Freak Radio number 92.
Hello.
That was a clip from Mad TV. That's actually not Oprah and Dr. Phil, in case you didn't know. And if you're wondering why we're playing Oprah, you probably have not been on the web, or...
You have been living in a cave.
You've been living in a cave. Hopefully a vegan cave.
If you were in a cave and all you had to eat was some fried chicken, would you eat it?
if you were in a cave and all you had to eat was bat guano, would you eat it? Okay, so anyway, in case you were living in a cave, the big news around the vegan webosphere, blogosphere, whatever ridiculous self-important sphere is out there, is that Oprah has decided to go vegan for 21 days.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just have a quick question for you. Where else do people get that wonderful advice to try going vegan for 21 days? I'm kidding. In our book. But, no, seriously. So Oprah has decided to go vegan for 21 days. And, wow, I mean, if you read around the vegan web, it's like the second coming of Jesus, Oprah, Christ. I mean, it is.
No.
She's going vegan on a cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
A cleanse. Now, what does the cleanse include? The cleanse, well, I should just read you this. This is from Celebrity News from usmagazine.com.
Quality journalism right there.
Not something I'm used to reading, to be honest with you, but here's what Oprah Winfrey is hoping to shed some serious pounds. The daytime diva, 54, has announced she is going vegan for a 21-day detox and she insists on her blog that it isn't so bad. Wow, wow, wow! I never imagined meatless meals could be so satisfying. She writes, I'd been focused on what I had to give up. Sugar, gluten, alcohol, meat, chicken, fish, eggs, cheese. What's left, I thought. Apparently a lot. I can honestly say every meal was a surprise and a delight, beginning with breakfast, strawberry rhubarb wheat-free crepes. Inspired by Kathy Freston's book, Quantum Wellness, Winfrey says, this 21-day cleanse gives me the chance to think about eating differently and see what my attachments are to certain kinds of foods and what I'm willing to do to change. Her new menu, created by Freston's own Tal Ronan, features food like tofu scramble, roasted tomato, grilled onion and sweet garlic aioli quesadillas with jicama slaw. That sounds pretty good. She plans to blog her entire dieting process. Don't know if I'm going to feel better or worse, Winfrey writes, but I'm willing to see if my body at least feels differently. For more on the best diets of summer, interviews with this year's hottest bodies, including Kelly Ripa and Fergie, pick up the new issue of Us Weekly Understands now.
It's Vegan Freak Radio number 92 on a lovely Tuesday evening, May 27th, 2008.
Coming to you from high atop their elite fortress of moral superiority, here are your protein-deficient hosts, Bob and Jenna.
We've got a great show for you today! As you know, I own thousands of human beings. And here is the centerpiece of my human collection, Dr. Phil!
Thank you, Oprah.